In this video, we're going to witness a spectacular collision between fantasy and physics. The two main problems with EV adoption are charging stations and charge times. EV owners have so-called range anxiety because there aren't enough charging stations, and when you get there, the actual time to charge can be long. This is because, unlike the fuel flow from a gas station nozzle, which is essentially the same everywhere, different chargers have different power ratings, which charge EVs at different speeds. Your home charger is only about 7 kilowatts, but would take 15 hours to charge your car, whereas a Tesla supercharger at 250 kilowatts could, assuming it was able to deliver the full power rating that is, charge the same car in about 30 minutes. But 250 kilowatts is a colossal amount of power, about 35 average homes, and that's just for one charging point. So it's little wonder that the EV charging industry is struggling to make a profit, and its investors are deserting. If you're after EV and net zero sanity, you've come to the right place. Welcome to MGUY, British engineer and lawyer, now Sydney YouTuber. If you like my videos and content, please be sure to like, share and subscribe, hit the notification bell and drop a comment down below. The engineering realities of building a fast charging station are enormous. A typical gas station on a freeway may have 20 or more pumps that can serve 20 or more vehicles simultaneously, with only minor changes to the speed of fueling. Check out my earlier video on what makes this so easy. But if you wanted to provide a barely comparable service to EVs, with 250 kilowatt fast charging, you'd need a connection to the local electricity grid capable of delivering no less than 5 megawatts, 5 million watts, equivalent to a small village of 700 average homes. Such a connection costs a lot of money, which makes it extremely difficult for chargers to be profitable, and, as Clean Technica reports, EV charging has a profit problem, which means it has an investment problem. The charging providers don't expect to turn profitable for about a year and face the prospect of EV market leader Tesla opening much of its popular charging network to other drivers starting in 2024. The blistering pace of US sales growth for EVs has moderated. Some charging executives say they are running into challenges that include customer unease about the direction of the economy, higher costs and delayed deliveries of EVs to fleet customers. ChargePoint holdings have tumbled 74% this year, and the company missed initial revenue projections for the third quarter. Blink charging shares have dropped 67%, while EVgo is down 21%, and both project annual losses. Not only are there not enough EV drivers using charging stations for them to turn a profit, but the opening of the Tesla supercharger network to other EVs means that all of these providers are going to be facing some serious competition for those few drivers. This means that even more EV charging growth is needed, and that's not what's happening on the ground. And as can be seen from the basic physics of the station, the cost to put them in can be significant. For one, the cost of buying the equipment and installing it can be obscene. A very basic 50 kilowatt station that many would barely consider to be fast charging can cost $50,000 per stall. Faster ones that make the drivers of the latest EVs happier can cost as much as $200,000 per unit. When you need to get at least 4 stalls to make for both capacity and redundancy, these costs approach $1 million at the low end when considering the other needed construction and power upgrades to get them all put in. Worse, it's probably necessary to put in 8 or 16 stalls, if not more, to make room for future growth. Once all this money is spent, it doesn't really get much better. Demand fees alone, before the per kilowatt hour energy charges, can be thousands of dollars per month. Or the stations can be even more expensive because you'd need battery storage to avoid the high peak wattage that drives high demand charges. So not only is the infrastructure expensive in the first place, but when you get to the fast charging rates, the electricity costs are high enough to almost negate the benefit of an EV in the first place, i.e. cheaper to run than a gas-powered car. The article also correctly points out later that when you've got people hanging around for perhaps an hour or more waiting for a charge in the middle of nowhere, you're going to need something to keep them entertained for that time. The whole economics of public charging is a complete disaster. The infrastructure is extremely expensive, the connections to the grid need to be incredibly powerful. Question, how does this work in rural and remote areas where there are no such connections, other than by use of an even more expensive battery storage unit? And the profit margin is extremely small. The only reason this is even being contemplated is because of the usual reason that it's being propped up by government incentives and subsidies to force people into buying and using an EV. If the market were left to its own devices, charging stations would be dead in the water. That's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Drop a comment down below and let me know what you think. If you have any tips or stories, you can hit me up on Instagram or by email, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye for now.